Hi, hello, my name is Sydney. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be picking my February TBR. So I have all of my physical TBR books on this cart. This is actually front and back. If you saw my last video, then you know we have 55 books on my TBR. And I actually spent some time at putting some prompts in this jar. I believe there's like a little over 40. So we're just going to pick, I think what I've decided on is 7. I don't know why that number just like came to my mind. I feel like I can get through 7 books next month. Even though February is a little bit of a shorter month than all the other months, I feel like we can do it. And I really want to read more romance in February just because like Valentine's Day, I feel like that just like fits the theme of the month. So we're gonna try to do some either like romantasy or just romance books and kind of get in the Valentine's Day feels. So we are just going to start by mixing this up. Okay, I have just mixed up all of the prompts and we are going to pick our first prompt, which is a book with less than 300 pages. Okay, I feel like that's good because it can be like a super quick palette cleanser. And I feel like some like standalone romances are pretty much under 300 pages. So let's see, this is Ricochet by Krista and Becca Ritchie. Under 300 pages, this is 285 pages. So this is a contender. I'm gonna try to like pick out books that I really wanna read. I definitely really wanna read The Love of My Afterlife. So let's see, try not to like spoil any, okay, this has over 300 pages, so that is not a contender. What about Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams? Over 300 pages. Maybe Done and Dusted. I feel like this one's gonna be over 300. Yeah, over 300. This is just under 300 pages. It's 285. So this was actually my January TBR. I just ended up not getting to it just because I didn't really want to. But I definitely want to continue the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. So this is the second book in that series. And this is, like I said, Ricochet by Krista and Becca Ritchie. So this is going to be our first book for our February TBR. Okay, let's see. Not looking. And, oh, okay. This looks like a long one. Oh, okay. Book sitting on my shelf the longest. We're gonna have to turn the card around. I have a couple of books that have definitely been on my shelf for a really long time. I'm just gonna pick those out. So I pulled 3 books that I think have been on my TBR the longest. We have Twisted Love by Anna Huang, and The Deal by Elle Kennedy, and then The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. See, this is gonna be hard. I don't know. I've heard a lot about Twisted Love, but I've also heard a lot about The Deal. Ugh, this is hard. Out of these 3, I'm pretty sure The Deal and Twisted Love have been on my TBR the longest. So I'm leaning towards Twisted Love just because I'm pretty sure the Twisted series is being adapted into a TV series. So that's like kind of why I'm leaning a little bit towards Twisted Love. But I've definitely heard a lot of people really like this series by Elle Kennedy. I just don't know if I want to read it. I'm going to read the back of these really quick and then I'm going to come back and let you guys know what I decide. Okay, I have decided to go with Twisted Love by Anna Huang. So this is going to be the second book on our February TBR. We're going to pick the third prompt. A book from a genre I don't read often. Okay, does dark romance count? I feel like dark romance, I have never read a dark romance book before, so maybe we could go with Brutal Prince. I'm pretty sure this is a dark romance, but I feel like that like still falls into the romance genre, so I don't know if that's a good idea. I feel like another good choice could be Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. So I feel like Brutal Prince, since it's like a start of a series, and I don't know if I really want to do that, especially if I'm going to be starting the Twisted series. I feel like since this is dark romance, I probably shouldn't read it just because it still, to me, falls under romance. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put Anxious People by Frederick Bachman on our TBR. And I have heard so much about Frederick Bachman's writing, so I'm really excited to get into his books and see if I like them as much as everybody else. So I'm actually really excited to be putting this book on my TBR for next month. Okay, let's see. Shuffling it up. And this says, a book, a part of a series. Okay, so that I feel like, I don't know what I want to do. I feel like I could start Flawless by Elsie Silver, the Chestnut Spring series. I feel like this has been definitely on my list for a really long time, but I could also read Daydream by Hannah Grace and finish the Maple Hills series because I ended up reading Wildfire in January. I've been wanting to read Flawless by Elsie Silver for so long, but I feel like it would be so nice to finish. I think we're going to go with Daydream by Hannah Grace just because I want to be able to finish the Maple Hills series, and I don't know if there's any more books coming out in this series, but as of now, this is the last book that's come out. So I think we're just gonna have a series be checked off from our TBR, and we're going to put this on our TBR as the 4th book this month. Okay, next one. Oh, I was hoping not to get this one. This is lowest Goodreads rating. Okay, be right back. Okay, so I actually forgot to count this book in my last video, like all of the books that I have on my physical TBR. So I just remembered I had this book when I went and looked at my Goodreads and sorted it from least to highest rating. And the first book that's on my physical TBR that has the lowest rating is Never by Jessa Hastings. And I remember when this book came out, it was very controversial. A lot of people really did not like it. And I am honestly a little bit scared to read this. So I've heard a lot of people saying that you should kind of listen to or read Peter Pan before going into this book, because I'm pretty sure this is just more of a Peter Pan retelling. So I think I'm gonna end up doing that. I don't know, this book, this cover is so gorgeous. It just is really scary to me, and I'm afraid that this book isn't going to be my favorite, especially since it is the lowest rated on my physical TBR, but that was promptly pulled, so here we are. I'm really hoping to get a prompt that will allow me to pick another fun, cute little romance, so let's just see. This says a book everyone has read. Okay, so when I wrote this prompt down, I had in mind a book that I've seen a bunch of people talk about recently. So whether that's on Book Talk, BookTube, Instagram, literally anywhere that bookish content exists. But that is kind of what I had in mind. So I feel like I've heard a lot of people talk about the X-Vows, and I think this one, or I know obviously a lot of people have been talking about Out on a Limb. So I've heard a lot of people talk about both of these books. I'm gonna read the back of them and see which one I feel like I want to read more. I've decided to go with The X-Files by Jessica Joyce just because I have heard so many people talking about this book recently, and I'm also pretty sure that this actually won an award or was on some list for Goodreads for the 2024 best books or something like that. So I feel like this is going to be a good book, and also I feel like it kind of fits the Valentine's Day theme just because it says on the back, estranged exes must stick close together to save their best friend's wedding after a string of disasters in this swoony and steamy second chance romance. So this is definitely going to be the next book on our TBR. Okay, this is our last and final prompt. Let's make this good. Let's see. Okay. Oh. A book I keep saying I'll read soon. So I feel like, honestly, all of these could fit this prompt, but there's definitely a lot of books where I've been I'm going to get to this book, I promise. I feel like Powerless is definitely on there. I feel like The Assassin's Blade is definitely on there. I'm picking a lot of fantasies. Obviously, Flawless is definitely on there. And I feel like One Dark Window, but I don't know if, I feel like this is a lot of books that I've been saying I will eventually read. I don't think I want to start The Assassin's Blade. I don't want to get into the Throne of Glass series yet because that is very intimidating to me. So obviously One Dark Window is a part of a duology, which could be nice to kind of get into, and then that would be fast and easy to check off after I finish the second one. Powerless, I have been wanting to read Powerless for so long. Again, I don't know why I haven't read it. These words are so small. I might have to buy this book on my Kindle if I choose it. And then we have Flawless by Elsie Silver. And I have been wanting to read this for forever. I feel like I just need to do it. I think it's definitely between Powerless and Flawless. I don't know what to do. This is so hard. Okay, I have decided to go with Flawless by Elsie Silver just because I think this has been on my TBR longer than Powerless, and I know so many people love the Chestnut Spring series, so I want to share that love with everybody else. So we're going to put this on our February TBR as the last book. So just to do a recap, we have Ricochet by Kristen and Becca Ritchie, which is the second book in the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. We have Twisted Love by Anna Huang, which is the first book in the Twisted series. We have Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, which I'm really excited to get to. We have Daydream by Hannah Grace, which would be checking off a series for me for my TBR. We have Never by Jessa Hastings, which I am really scared to read. We also have The X-Files by Jessica Joyce that I am also super excited to get to just because I've heard so many people talking about this book. And then last but not least, we have Flawless by Elsie Silver, which again, I am excited to get to. But those are all of these 7 books on my TBR for the month of February. If you guys have read any of these books, please let me know down below and let me know which book you think I should start off with first. I'm really excited to get to all of these books. I might do a reading vlog for them, not 100% sure yet, but I am excited to kind of just check some series off, start new series, and hopefully I will enjoy all of these books. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and happy reading!